Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to FYI.
Welcome
It's Monday, the 28th of February,
already.
2022, and we're here with you this morning to bring you all that is happening in and around the world, in our country and around the world.
In our part of the vineyard.
Well, guys, I hope that you had a great weekend. I know that the weekend just came by. It just ended so quickly.
Like the month, just like the month.
I didn't
Just
have
as
too
fast
much.
as the
I didn't
month.
have too much of a weekend. I was up and about doing projects with my daughter and all sorts of things. So I hope you guys
Parenting for you. Parenting for you.
actually had a good weekend. Beatrice Selby, good morning to you. How are you this morning? We're here. We're having light coffee.
Yep.
With
We are.
a shade of sugar.
We are.
Watching our health as we move along this morning. Good morning to you, William Koja. How are you this morning, William? Natalie Grimman. Good morning, Natalie. June Chase. I haven't seen June last week. I don't know if I missed her, but I'm seeing her back. Good to be here with
Good
you
to see all of you
all.
guys. And we're back. Mash is behind us now.
Well,
We've lost our mash colors.
well, yes, I
Good
didn't
to
even
see you guys.
I didn't even make mention of the fact
Mash
that
is
we
gone.
have.
Believe it or not. Mash is gone. The month is gone. The weekend is gone. Hello, March.
Back to regular programming.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello,
I
March.
guess
Hello, March.
that's what we're saying. It's not March as yet, but we're almost there. We're right there. And guys, I want to encourage you as you come online, just share the live stream as we say every single morning. Make sure you share, smash that emoji.
Yep.
And in the comment section, I'm going to be spending a couple of minutes in the comment section this morning to see who is joining us, where you're joining us from. So if you're on this morning, you're looking to us, just let us know. Just keep your fingers working in the comment section.
And let us know what you're
having
having, where you're joining us from, and let us know what you're having for breakfast. So we'd love to know that. We've started with some coffee. Some people had an egg ball.
Some people present. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have my own pending, not to worry. But we're having some coffee. They said, what are you guys having for breakfast? And looking at the monitor in front of us, the background looks so plain now coming out of the mash, the mash
right?
week.
We had all the colors.
And I think we had a lovely bouquet coming out of Valentine's as well. We're going to have one of the bouquets back. The back looks a little plain now from all of the masks
it's regular programming.
And curtains and all the other stuff that we had last week and the week prior. But it's good to be back. It's good to be back in familiar environs. And we trust that you guys, as you just said, you've had a great week. You've had a great month. And guys, it's so important. We were talking about this just last weekend, that we're coming out of this month. When you look back over the last 28 days, how much progress have you made towards your own goals and your own ambitions and aspirations and so on? 2 months have already gone by in 2022 already, and March is right upon us, guys. March is right upon us.
Well, I don't know about anyone else, but we spoke one morning about making a schedule and making sure that you stick to the to-do list or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that helps, for persons to actually meet some of those benchmarks that they have for the month and so forth. So, guys, I hope you've been being steadfast with those benchmarks that you have set for yourself, and I hope that 2 months have not gone long without persons actually starting down a pathway of something that they want to do.
No, folks, you had your New Year's resolution should be already started. You should be at least quarter way on that path already. Whatever is the goal you set. And so I think that's one of the reasons why people got trouble with New Year's resolution, because we perhaps don't forget them already, and we gone back to regular programming.
And then you're going to say, "Oh, we're going to start it next year." Well, you can the same.
No. Don't do that. You got to start on those things now, folks. Now is the time. You don't know. You just don't know what the new year holds. You already have so many challenges. I mean, nobody foresaw when we started 2022 we were going to have a war in the Ukraine and that kind of displacement.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to jump on those things now. Stop putting off. We put off too much. Planning is important, but you got to move from planning to performance.
Yes, we do. This morning I'm seeing
who do we have?
Chandel Moses, West Side in the house. I'm seeing Thomas joining from Queens, New York. We're seeing who is this person? Pamela Dover joining from Manhattan.
Robin Ryan, Elizabeth Ryan from Sparkle City. How are you doing, Elizabeth? Good to see you. She
I
says
miss
good
that one,
morning.
Sparkle City.
Yep, yep, yep.
I'm seeing Belfield. We have someone from Belfield this morning. James, good morning to you. James, how are the folks there in Belfield this morning? I'm
Yes, good
seeing
to see you guys.
Zambia in the house this
Zambia, good
morning.
to see you. Good to see you, Zambia. I'll take a sip of my coffee for Zambia.
Zambia, I see Robin. Robin Narayan, good morning to you. Robin, Robin, where are you joining us from this morning? I'm seeing Lover Cameron. Pamela Dover says it's
Pamela,
cold. Texas in the house. Lynette Jacobs joining us from
Lynette, you're
Texas
far,
this
girl. You're
morning.
far.
So good
You're
morning to you,
far.
Lynette.
Lynette, you're still in Texas. They say everything is bigger in Texas. Yep,
We have Selena Frazes joining us from Canada this
yep,
morning.
yep, yep.
Marie
Ontario,
Paul, sorry, joining us from
Ontario,
Brooklyn.
Canada. Selena is one of our favorites, and Selena helps us in innumerable ways, joining us from Ontario, Canada. Then we have Vashti Magnot and Rupert. They usually join us from Waterloo, Canada. So, big shout out to all the folks joining us from the diaspora, from Selena to Vashti to Elizabeth Lorraine, who is joining us from Sparkle City, South Carolina. Big shout out to all the Lorraines there. Big shout out.
We see Claire joining us from Kurukuru, Sioux
Yeah,
Cycling
yeah,
Highway.
beautiful Kurukuru.
Quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very, very quiet
Different.
place. Not
Lovely
my
different. How
city.
about different? Lovely different. Big shout out to Kurukuru as well, guys. Judy says it early on, before I could. But as you guys are joining us, ensure that you share the live stream and you smash that emoji button. Share.
I was about
And
to
you
ask.
smash.
I was about to ask
Share.
if you would.
And then you smash.
I'm gonna sit here and do nothing when these memes come
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. Share and smash. Share and smash. Good to have you
Maryland
guys.
in
Yep.
the house this morning. I see
Happy
Mr.
Monday, Maryland. Happy Monday.
Tonica Cummins is here with us this morning.
Tonica, how you doing?
Karen Smith is with us.
The Smiths.
Well, Karen is in Queens. You see the Queens.
Oh my.
There.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course we have Judith David. She's
Judith
joining from
is here.
Bartica.
Bartica, welcome Judith. All the Queens folks.
A lot going on in
the
Bartica,
Brooklyn folks, the Bronx folks. Lots of stuff going on in those places. And as Judith says, Bartica as well. Bartica as well.
French Guyana is in the house this morning also. Good morning to the folks joining from French Guyana. Is there anyone joining from Region 9 in the house? I know one particular guy.
Nine.
Always here from
Region 9. Are you there? Are you out there, Region 9? Somewhere? Are you out there?
Rick is joining us from Florida. Good morning to you, Rick. Vanessa Maury from Linden, your born tongue, Sharon. Mm-hmm. Linden is in the house.
Linden, you here? Twitter, this egg ball on my mind. I can't like.
He's hungry. This is what
egg ball on my
hungry
mind.
Morning.
So tempted. So tempted.
Oh wow, Niagara Falls, New York. Someone is joining from there. These. Our viewers. There's the spread out.
You at the falls yourself right now, or
I was.
You're in Canada, Niagara Falls. You at the falls. Send us a photograph. Good to have all of you. Where are you joining us from, guys? Hope you're having a very energetic, pumped up Monday. Hope it has started well for you guys. I know some folks still in bed. Some folks watching us from their smart television. I could see Elizabeth Narayan in her bedroom in South Carolina there. The covers pulled up, television on, and she's just watching us and judging us.
I must
watching
say,
and judging.
I must say I'm a little envious of anyone having that life right now.
Yeah.
We're
cold outside, warm inside, and just getting in for work and just
thank you for mentioning that, because I know a couple mornings person said that they were just in from work. So for all the persons that are
just into work,
heading in from work, that had the night shift, we're glad that you're here with us, for spending this time with us, even though that you're stone tired, basically.
Yes. Yep. And we're happy you're here. We're really happy you're here. I don't know if the guys have the morning papers for us yet, but we wanted to share some of what is happening on the covers of the local newspapers where we are, and maybe where you are, you can tell us what's making the news. I love the Connecticut Current. There is the Barbados Today newspapers, the Jamaica Gleaner, the Trinidadian Express, and the Guardian there in Trinidad. There's the New York Times. I love to pick up a copy of the New York Times whenever I'm passing through, and all of the, what do you call them, community newspapers or the local newspapers also there in the diaspora. Wherever I go, I love to pick up a copy
He's
of the
not joking.
papers.
He's not joking.
Love to
Shared
pick up
is
a copy of the
quite
paper.
an ardent reader altogether.
Yep. We gotta
Always
try. We gotta
reading
try.
something,
We have to try. But let us know what is making.
It's a dying culture.
Let us know too if you guys have picked up, you're in the diaspora and you've picked up the newspaper where you are. Maybe you want to send us a quick screenshot of the cover of the papers, and then maybe that can help us with some of the headlines. Or tell us what's making some of the headlines where you guys are. You see how much to your business we want to know? We want to know what you're having for breakfast. How you are spending your weekend? How you are spending the last month? What's on the newspaper covers where you are? And let us know that, and be sure to.
I've seen Nigel Williams saying good morning, folks. This
Nigel
morning.
Williams,
Yeah.
the Nigel Williams.
I am thinking that.
Nigel.
Good morning to you,
The Nigel.
Nigel.
Guys, the weather outside, it's 25 degrees. The guys are telling us. And you know, we love to follow this and weather.com. And don't lead us wrong. When weather.com says it's going to rain, and we're talking about from the national capital city of Georgetown, where we broadcast our program from, the oil producing Republic of Guyana. When weather.com says it's going to rain here, it's going to rain here. And we trust that you guys have good weather where you guys are.
You're telling us it's interesting to know it because persons who do not think that that's just a photo at the bottom of the screen. That's accurate information being put out there for you, so to guide you along the way. This is a morning program. The least we can do is make sure that you're properly prepared and equipped to go out there. So if we say it's going to rain, it's going to rain. So walk with. So
there's some thunderstorms. There's some rain in the forecast throughout the day. So you might want to pack that umbrella. You just might want to pack it. Just want to do so.
Queen's, I didn't get that name. I think that's an email address, Sharon.
I see Shondell Moses, Mark Alman. I see, is it Charlana?
Siobhan McDonald.
Yep.
I'm seeing also Pamela. Pamela's in the house this morning.
Leslyn Charles, we see you as well. Leslyn, I see you a long time, girl. You all right? I ain't seen a little while. Pamela Sanchari. Good to see you, Pamela. Pamela's always here with us. It's family now. Right? Family in the back bedroom.
Bold page is saying newspaper is a thing of the past, Sharon.
Newspaper is a thing of the past, true.
It's like contentious.
No,
right?
I'm telling you, I'm very contentious. But I mean, the newspapers, the readership has been dwindling. I think people who publish newspapers would admit that. But newspapers still have an audience, an aged audience, but an audience nonetheless. And it's a terrific place to pick up what's happening around you, and also job vacancies and lots of stuff happening.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a lot of studies to Page. I think Bold Page is the name to that person that made that comment. There's a lot of studies actually done when it comes to the readership of newspapers altogether. And I know it's the young people more so would prefer to just go online. Information age. They'd
rather be with us.
It's rapid
for
information.
The FYI.
Rapid information share. That's why we're here. We bring news. We just do a summary of everything and just give it to you as it is. But definitely newspapers are very, very important, and I can attest to that. But also it has to be coupled with the technology of today.
Yep. What do you think about that? Share and smash. Share the program and smash. While you contemplate that, good to see Paul 63 there and Lambert,
Paul
fancy
63?
surname. The fancy surname is not his surname, but it's just a fancy surname he has. BHS is here still. Tanya Cummins and Michael Gittins. Andrew Cuthbert is here. And this is COS and that's CUSS. Because some people sometimes I think it's Cuthbert, but it's Cuthbert.
Good morning, Michael. Michael Gittins in the house this morning. Good morning,
Michael, how are you doing? Morning, Michael. Morning. Yep. Morning.
Done with that.
Good to see all you guys.
I see Carmichael. Good morning to you watching from Trinidad. So good morning to you and the folks watching from Trinidad this morning. What's the weather like in Trinidad? I actually didn't get a chance to look up Trinidad's news this morning, but that's something we tend to do in the morning to see if there's anything that we need to bring you folks.
Anything we think you might need to know. Yep, and the guys are going to tell us if they're ready to go. And with the morning papers, are we good to go?
Okay, so we have is it Chetram says, shared boy, I still love my papers.
Chetram, we in good company.
But then he went.
Chetram, we in good company.
Went on to say it's probably a sign of old age.
Same thing. You're in good company. Same thing. I'm struggling to see the monitor right now.
I like how you're embracing it.
Same thing. Let's get it out of the way.
Oh
We
my
big,
goodness.
but we got sense. We big and we have sense. We have the morning trends ready then. If the guys are and the guys, yep. And some of what is making the news where you guys are, we want to share a couple of things with you guys before we send you off to have a more productive day. Good to have each and every one of you here with us. And I think one of the things, let me make sure I'm set in my notes at our end. Is the issue concerning Dorita's hometown. I think we begin there. We're located in Bartica this morning.
Well, we are located in Bartica this morning. Over the weekend, there was some video footage actually circulated on social media that was posted by one Chris Crichton of Bartica, and he is alleging assault by the police, and the video footage captured actually the audio also of a police officer actually give putting out death threats to the young man. In what some say, the commentary has been coming in as unprovoked because persons are basically commenting on social media. Persons can go check his page because the video was posted on his page, and persons are saying, that it's unbelievable that you can have those words coming from a police
Yeah.
officer. And we always like this. We always have to put out there that they are sterling men and women in the police force in Guyana. They I spoke once, one of our earlier shows of FYI. I spoke about writing Bartica, and there's a particular police officer there that has an exemplary record. And I spoke of that. And now to see that there's someone there that's basically
Like you get black tongue.
staining the
Soon as
name.
you talk about Bartico and
Serious.
the United States, it's like an avalanche of recent. And I think, again, this is one of the issues that underscore of the need perhaps for more training, more restraint and all that. And folks, some of the language you're going to hear is not morning show language, but
Yeah.
we didn't want to edit it because you're going to miss the whole gist of it and how a simple traffic offense, a simple traffic stop, really escalated into a way it should not have. And I think the guys have that set for us.
I still, I still be gone. Please, please, I see. Please, I see. Why you all asking me? I going in the police vehicle. You know, no see. There's nobody there. You go. I'm more than fine. No, there's nobody. No, what you can't want to do me though? No. No. Hey, humble, I could apply, but you can't want to knock me.
Listen to me.
Hey, I see, hey, what you telling me, boy? No, Sergeant, no.
I will just step in the
Listen, nobody, hey, listen. No, you can't want. Listen to me, Sergeant.
Please
You
go
ain't
in
got
the vehicle,
problem.
cooperate with the
No,
police.
me ain't got problem thing with the police.
Cooperate with the vehicle.
No, me ain't got problem with the vehicle.
What is it?
Hey, boy, hey.
Wow. So there you have it. We only have, as of right now, that tape that is circulating. That tape was posted by Chris Crichton, and that is a young man that was actually doing the video footage. And quite disturbing language being used there, what is alleged to be used by the police officer in Bartica. I'm yet to see that happened over the weekend. Actually, I believe it was around 8 p.m. on Saturday, for the information that's circulating online. And during the course of yesterday, I was actually looking to see if the police force was going to put out a statement on the matter, because it's quite a serious matter that needs to be dealt with
It's
right
serious.
away.
It's serious in the sense that here you have a policeman saying to a motorist who you're stopping just for a traffic offense, "I gonna kill you. I gonna murder you." I mean,
Yes.
that is very, very serious. I don't think that is the way that policemen conduct themselves in our country or in any part of the world for a simple traffic stop. Albeit the gentleman did not have the requisite papers for the motorcycle on him at that point. He later presented them at the police station. His mother brought them to the police station,
Yes.
and that was cleared up. But for a simple traffic stop, to say to somebody, who is complying from all intents and purposes, with the instructions of the police. I gonna kill you. I gonna murder you. How do you get there?
But and then not only that, and what persons must notice that the police know that that officer that said that knew that he was in the wrong, to the point that the guy was saying they were asking him for his phone. This according to his post, they were asking him for his phone so that and they wanted the video to be deleted, right? So you know that you erred to that extent, and that's the way
When
to
you
cover
editing
it up,
your own actions,
right? To try to
Yeah.
basically, like highlight and delete, like that, like this never happened. But again, I say we're looking for the statement that's going to be coming out from the Guyana Police Force, because the police force, there's a requirement to make sure that the force name is not stained like that, because that's the stain on the force name. And like we said, we keep saying that they are men and women that goes out there and performs their duties as policemen and women, and they have really good conduct. You covered one of them that actually got the child that was saw the child
Oh
that was
yeah,
walking
correct.
without shoes,
From
and
Little
actually
Diamond to Great Diamond. Yep,
stopped
yep,
and got something for that child
yep.
to eat and all of that. Those are the stories that we want to see coming out. People that care and are their persons, police officers that are considerate to human life, not a police officer going out there and actually saying that I'm going to kill you, I'm going to murder you. That is something that we will be monitoring that particular situation and looking to see the actions taken by the force to apprehend that officer
Correct,
for
correct.
what was said altogether.
And that being said, there's the capacity in the Guyana Police Force for us to rise to the occasion and to improve. And let's
Yes.
do that and let's move forward. Let's do that. Apologize if an apology is needed.
Yeah.
Whatever actions are needed for us to move forward, let's do that and let's move forward. And let's move forward on FYI as well. Due to be following also, there is some gridlock over the nominee for the Natural Resource Fund, the Natural
Yes.
Resource Fund. And if you guys have been following
That's a
oil
board.
and gas, if you guys have been following in the oil and gas news, you'd know that this National Resource Fund is the entity that is set up to oversee the spending of this
Correct.
money that we earn from our oil and gas industry. And there's been some struggles here.
Well, as it says there, gridlock over nominee for NRF's Natural Resource Fund Board of Directors. Government proposes Barrow Sealy case, and opposition wants position for the nominee to be advertised. And that gridlock is and I dare say, when you're talking about the Natural Resource Fund Board of Directors, you need the best and the brightest. You need persons that basically checks off all of those boxes altogether. So we can't just go
Thank you, Dave.
we can't just go forward. And let me make a comparison to the Public Procurement Commission. For folks out there that don't know, the Public Procurement Commission right now is at the stage of actually going to the National Assembly for a vote, right? Now, the process altogether is that you have to send out basic invitation for persons through the newspapers, radio, television, etc., for persons to apply to be a part to be a commissioner on the Public Procurement Commission. And then the Public Accounts Committee goes through those lists and see the persons that are most qualified for that. So you're not locking out civil society from actually nominating. You're not locking out individuals from nominating themselves or any of that, because the aim and the intention is to get the best and the brightest right there. So the opposition's position is the same, like the same way it's done for the Public Procurement Commission. Then the same thought and the same openness and transparency should have done in the selection of those. Don't just handpick a few persons and say these are the persons that you want to sit on the Natural Resource Fund Board of Directors. And that's the gridlock that is going on there right now. The opposition is saying, let it be open, let civil society have a say. Do not have it locked in an important body like the Natural Resource Fund. An important body like the Board of Directors for that cannot be just locked into the government and opposition saying we want these people.
Correct.
Where is the voice of civil society? Where is the openness and the transparency for those persons to have a voice in what will transpire at that board? That is a board to overlook the spendings of the government. Come
Correct.
on. We
Correct.
cannot be locked into just government make pushing for some name and then the opposition putting a name. How does that work? It should be a system that is so transparent that civil society is actually given the flexibility to make nominations of their own, and if they dare make nominations of persons that are super qualified, then they should be given a seat on that board of directors. That's my position.
I think the government on the whole, guys, has to rethink the way it has been approaching these entities, these oversight bodies, because it's not looking well for them at all. You got
Yes.
this the perception is there that the government wants to stack these bodies with people who conform to the government's position on things. And you see it happening here with the NRF. And it's quite strange that the NRF has this oversight function for the oil and gas sector
Yeah.
with spending of the monies that we earn from the oil, for instance, that we sell on the international market. And in the last budget, all that money has been I don't want to use the word siphoned off, but has been taken to fund the budget, but the board has not been constituted. The committees that should be focusing on the projects these monies are spent on as part of the National Resource Fund have not been constituted, but the money has already been spent. So the average person could be thinking, then why do we even need the board and the fund
And not only
altogether?
that, not only the money. We made a point quite often on the show that there wasn't a clear pathway that you can see. Well, these are the projects that will be funded by the
That's that,
monies
that's
from
that's that's
natural
another
resources.
challenge there.
So if you don't know what are the specific projects, you most definitely will not be able to audit the spendings of the monies to the projects that is going to. If it goes to the consolidatory fund and just mixed there, and then monies are taken out of there. And those are things that persons have been very interested in and having their voices heard through protest actions and all of those things shared as we have been seeing in the streets.
Very interesting. And I think, again, I want to come back to the fact that the administration has to be very, very cognizant of the perception out there, because you see them, the way they redrafted the National Resource Fund in a certain way. People perceive that they want things set up a certain way to favor the government, the administration of the day, the regime, as it were. And then when you look to ETI and you see the replacement of Dr. Rudy
Rudy.
Jadupat, right? It gives again that sense that the government don't want any dissenting voices. They would rather go with a Prem Mazier, who's been a large part of their party, a supporter, a member who is going to confirm, and the government has to watch that.
A
I mean,
non-contentious person, basically. Someone's not going to challenge whatever's asked.
Correct,
And that's
correct.
what we're looking for as a country. We don't move forward like that.
Exactly. I was about to say we're not going
Yeah.
to develop like that. In addition to that, we're 18 months into the new administration. The Judicial Service Commission has not been constituted as yet. The Public Service Commission has not been constituted as yet. The Teaching Service Commission has not been constituted as yet. The Natural Resources Fund Board, as we're mentioning here,
Yes.
the Local Content Secretariat, another important fixture in the oil and gas industry. The Petroleum Commission has not been constituted as yet. And then the Integrity Commission, 2 years in, and some key components of a functioning government, as is articulated by our Constitution, they have not been constituted as yet. It's like, where are we?
But on the last one that you mentioned, the Integrity Commission, we were even picking that up out of one of the papers today. One of the papers today actually did an article on that, and they're saying 1 month after the vice president actually said that the names were submitted for the Public Procurement Commission, still no Integrity Commission, sorry. No, to date, 1 month after that statement was made, and that statement was made actually with the interview with Isabel Young from Vice Media.
Sugate.
That
Better
was
known as Sugate.
that was disclosed, and that's one of the things that was disclosed during that interview actually. So 1 month after that has been made public, there is still no Integrity Commission, and nothing is being said about it.
Yeah, and that's a challenge that we have. You have this administration that says it means well,
Yeah.
it's for transparency, it's for oversight, it's for rule of law and all that. And then you got a slew of bodies that are integral for oversight and transparency in all those things that have not been set up. And one, for instance, like EITI, that has been functioning there's this move now to
To remove.
dislocate, to remove the substantive CU and replace it with what people say could be a yes man. That's out there. But in addition to that, Rita, we have some other things that have been happening. The body of a Venezuelan was found today, I
Yes.
think, in the Demara River.
Well, we need to that's that story. You know, those things send chills down your spines basically to have persons. A lot of times when you see, it gives me a lot of memory. Again, I'm from Bartica, and there's so many cases that I can remember of persons of non-Guyanese nationals that actually died here. And there were certain cases in which they took forever to even identify some of those persons. So that is a very sad story altogether. Body of Venezuelan teen. It's not a Venezuelan man, teen over here. More likely the person came here to work, and those person, a lot of them come to work in the mining sector and all of those things. So that is very sad altogether.
I think something that we have to keep our eye on. There seems to have been an uptick in the in some what do you call them? We want to call them crimes, some issues in the population, Venezuelans and other non-nationals who are
Yes.
here with us. And whether it's we saw last week some Venezuelan young lady stabbing
Correct.
another a minor that has been shot, and there seems to be an uptick
Yeah.
in that, and that's something to keep an eye on. It seems almost on a daily basis now. It's something with a Venezuelan, a Brazilian, something like of that nature, and I think that is
We
noteworthy.
have a lot of Venezuelans in this country and Brazilians as well. I keep telling people, I don't think people actually wrap their heads around the amount of Venezuelans that's actually in this country right now. I have been in the little nooks and corners of this country, and I found Venezuelans living there. I don't think Guyanese actually understand how serious it is when it comes to the amount of people that have actually crossed the borders from Venezuela and that are actually living here. And there are a lot of Venezuelans that are married to Guyanese as well. I mean, I'm from Region 7. We have both Venezuelan and Brazilian girls that actually marry Guyanese men, and that have their families here right now also. So it's a lot.
I think one of the popular clubs in Bartica is managed by is it a Venezuelan? A
Brazilian,
Brazilian
a
young lady.
Brazilian,
Fantastic young
and
lady.
she was married to a Bartician, a Bartica guy, but
Makes the point.
sadly he had lost his life to COVID in the earlier stages when the virus got to Guyana. But yes, that's what's going on right now. I mean, Bartica is very diverse when it comes to nationality, I dare say, because we have a lot of Venezuelans there, we have a lot of Brazilians there, and Barticians are at a point right about now that everyone is trying to learn the Spanish and Portuguese because it makes it easier to transact business altogether. So those are things that you have to be on the ground to understand, to see. But I was very shocked when I was on the West Coast and I was in a village where I would say behind God back, as we as we say it in Guyana, and I met Venezuelan living there, residing there, working. So I was shocked.
Yep. Is the changing complexion of the country, and we gotta come to terms with it. But again, keep our fingers
We have to
on the things.
monitor.
Yeah, I was going there. Keep our fingers
Yes.
on those issues, those hot button issues. But we usually start with international news and come local. But we started with local, and we're gonna finish the morning trend on international news. And Ukraine has announced some talks with Russia. And while that is happening, I did hear the Ukrainian President Zelensky said that he wasn't optimistic that those talks were going to be successful, but there were talks that were going to be held with Russia, and I think he was what do you call it, downplaying that early, so there's not a huge expectations coming out of it, and saying very early that he didn't think those talks were going to be successful, but there are talks on with Russia nonetheless.
Well, Ukraine announces talk with Russia, as it says there, and with what Sharon says, absolutely correct with what you're saying there, with the comments that what came from Zelensky. But based on how we're seeing it, and I see a lot of comments coming out from various news sites and so
And members
forth.
of the public too.
that's actually saying that well, Russia's there. Russia has taken full control of several cities in Ukraine already, and Zelensky announcing talks with Ukraine seems like, Zelensky is out for peace, to lessen the impact, and when
Of
it comes
course,
to the death toll
of course.
that it has on the country right now, because persons are dying. I mean, part the news reports, and you see a bomb drop here and you see this there, and persons don't understand the gravity when it comes to the amount of lives that are being lost, and
But
persons displaced in this whole situation altogether in Ukraine.
and what I don't think that Russia was prepared for was the fighting spirit of the Ukrainians, because they're the ones who really withstanding the Russians, the ordinary citizens who have taken up arms and defending their country. And I don't think, and everything we have read thus far said that the Ukrainians have really surprised a lot of people in the way they have been standing up for their country. And the president too.
But they have the numbers too.
Right.
Over 44 million people.
Yeah, yeah. And if you
Arms.
understand the background of the Ukrainian president, a lot of persons, a lot of international media houses, when you read the coverage of what's happening in Ukraine, says the president has really demonstrated courage
Yes.
in this crisis and this conflict, this war that the Russians have perpetuated on Ukraine. And that's some of what's happening internationally. Guys, we have a new segment this morning. We're talking about, we're going to be introducing a person of interest, somebody who is standing out there that we want to, we think your attention should be on. And this morning, that person is a Guyanese man who is actually living in the Ukraine. He works at sea on a cruise line, but he migrated to the Ukraine. He's married to a Ukrainian, and they have a daughter. And that is our person of interest this morning. He is, let me get his name right, Sean Parisram. Jurita, am I calling it right?
Is it Parsram?
Am I calling it right? I'm calling it according to the syllables. I might be off, but
Yes. So, Sean Parsram.
and he is our person of interest this morning. As we always say, guys, Guyanese are scattered all over the world. You know, there are more Guyanese who live outside of Guyana than live in Guyana. And there's an estimated figure of about 800,000 Guyanese who live overseas alone. And you know, we're grateful that we get the chance to add to what's happening and help develop other countries and all of that. And lots of them, those monies come back here and help build this country too. Because a lot of people survive on remittances. And so Sean Parsham, as we said, is Guyanese. He works on a cruise liner. He's at sea at the moment. And we picked up this over the weekend out of one of the daily newspapers. He's very concerned about his family home.
His family is in Ukraine.
His family is in Ukraine.
I think he doesn't have contact with them.
Yeah, the contact has been sporadic. And the last time he spoke to his wife, she did say that they were going well. But his wife is Yulia and his daughter is Emilia. And they both live in the Ukraine. The family lives in the Ukraine. But he works on sea. He works on a cruise liner. And he is currently in the Bahamas. And there are other folks, I'm certain there are other Guyanese who live in the Ukraine. We might have students. We have students here as well. Students also in Russia. And so Sean Parsham is a person of interest. And again, you think of this country that is so far away, and you don't know, you don't spare thought that there are actually Guyanese who caught up in this.
But that's
war
the
as
whole
well.
that's the whole concept of globalization right there, spelled out before you. That's what it entails, movement of people and all of that. And that is why it is not as easy as persons who some people would want it to be, to actually go and invade a country, and then you have the entire world saying no, you shouldn't be doing this, because everyone is so integrated, everything is so integrated. No country is a standalone country. Every country have nationals from all over the world. Every country's economy is integrated and depends on other economies and other countries around the world, and that's
Correct.
what's going on right now. That's
Correct.
why we even have the issue with Russia and the actual economic system being cut off by the West with all of the sanctions right now, because they know that those are those are the new ways in which you can basically punish countries because of the integration, the globalization, that whole concept of the integration that we call the lovely word globalization. That's what it means.
Yeah.
It means that you depend on me, I depend on you, we all depend on each other. So if you're hurting, it hurts me too. And that's what we're seeing right about now. The situation is in Ukraine is hurting persons throughout the world. Here we have a Guyanese that, as we're pointing out right now, that is hurting because his
Very
family
concerned. Yep.
is there in Ukraine. And that's why we can't go down. 2022, we do not need a pathway of war. Most definitely not.
Yep, and I just want to read a quick piece of this report for you. It says here that Parshram, who is employed with the Royal Caribbean International, moved to the Ukraine in 2014 after he met his wife and they got married. He explained that the cruise company is currently working with government agencies to at least get all Ukrainians and Russians on board close to their homeland. Parshram has been away from his family for 4 months, and he says that currently there is limited stuff as to what I can do. Fingers crossed, prayers, and we move forward. He said to the newspaper during a telephone interview, the Russian forces unleashing. Let me get another comment out of him. It says here that he lives in Odessa. I think this is one of the major cities there. And he said that in the airport close to where he's living, which is about 10 minutes away, there was a loud explosion heard there, and this is what his wife was relating to him when he spoke to her on last Saturday. But again, and this is where you guys come in. If you know Guyanese who are living in the Ukraine or even in Russia, we'd love to talk with them. So you may want to tag them in this program. You may want to give them our one of the numbers. They can contact us on 627-6963. That's the number we use across all our platforms. 627-6963. We'd love to talk with some of the folks who might be affected by this conflict, who are in the Ukraine currently and affected by the conflict. And again, Sean Parashram is our person of interest this morning because, again, Guyanese living in the Ukraine, affected by this conflict. And, Sean is a good pivot point because, as you were saying, this issue could come to affect us. Not only by Guyanese living in the region. Oil price gone up.
It will.
Right.
And
logistics, shipping could be affected.
I can't stress it more.
Yeah.
This is the whole aspect of globalization. This is how trading is done today. There is no country on this planet that depends on itself. Every country depends on another country, and this is the whole interlink that is going on. So, persons, we cannot say that, oh, that's happening in Ukraine. No. Whatever happens, any part of this globe affects the entire globe. That's what happens when everything is linked to each other. And that is why immediately as Russia invaded Ukraine, oil prices just had a direct response. Immediately. Because it's all integrated.
Yep. Our thoughts and prayers are with Sean Parshram, Yulia, and their daughter Emilia. They're in our thoughts and prayers, and we say spare a thought for them as well. And as it is on oil and gas, that's our big issue today. The big issue we're talking about is the oil and gas industry. And a specific issue in particular is the full coverage insurance issue. That was one of the issues we saw persons protesting for at the recently concluded International Energy Conference and Expo. Full coverage insurance. That is our big issue for today. And we see lots of you guys are here with us. Carl Miller and George Seymour. Thank you, guys. Pamela Dover and Carl Miller, Andrew Cuthbert and Devon Hughes. Wherever you're joining us from around the world, guys, we encourage you to share our live stream. We want as many persons to benefit from the information as possible. And looking at the monitor, looking at the background, I really miss the roses and the flowers and the bouquet we had in the background. It seems so much plainer without them.
I swear.
Really miss them. And good. I'm certain that Andrew Cuthbert and all the other guys would agree with us. Seymour George and Carl Miller. I see Tamara Dow is here as well. Tamara, how are you doing? We encourage you guys. We want to see those emojis, and we want you guys to smash those emoji button, and we want you to share the live stream as well, guys. The big issue again is the full coverage insurance. in the oil and gas sector. And simply put, this is ensuring that if and when we have a disaster in this sector, that the Guyanese people are not left holding the bag.
But I've
You
been,
know,
I
because
think
some of these things cost millions of dollars to clean up an oil spill, for instance.
some of them cost billions of dollars. But I can say, Sherrod, when it comes to the if, I don't think a lot of the experts have been saying it's not a matter of if, but when, more so when, because once you have that extraction being done out at sea, it is only a matter of when you have a spill and the magnitude of the spill, and that is why the full coverage insurance should be done. And I think the motion was actually tabled demanding the full unlimited liability coverage as the correct terminology
And this was a
is.
motion in the National Assembly
left
that
the
was
National
brought by, I
Assembly.
think, David Patterson.
Correct.
And I hope the guys can pull up the segment for us. This very segment here, because more recently, Dr. Vincent Adams, who was the head of the EPA, told the nation over the weekend that just on the meeting office, Guyana was in negotiation and ExxonMobil had agreed
Correct.
to do full coverage insurance over this sector here.
Well, that's what happens when you have the experts in play, and that's what we keep saying, that it's not just about handpicking people and putting them in positions to actually do the work. When it comes to the natural resource fund and anything to do with the oil and gas sector, it's not about putting just political faces there. You need to have experts there that actually know what they are about and what they're doing. And I know that Dr. Vincent Adams is one of those experts. He served and he worked with the Obama administration in the oil and gas sector. So he knows what he's talking about. And when he held that position at the EPA, he would have made very well sure that he pushed in a certain direction to get those things on stream. So I think what he was saying is that it has either been halted or shelved or scrapped altogether because of the commentary that is coming out right now from the administration.
Yep. And I don't understand why. And you look at the commentators; they are flabbergasted. They're equally surprised. Why wouldn't the administration want to go in this direction? Full
Yeah.
coverage insurance. We
It
saw,
makes sense
I
to
think,
everyone.
what was it, Nigeria recently, just off the coast of Nigeria, I think it was, a ship carrying crude oil.
Yes.
600,000 barrels of crude oil exploded. Ghana, the guys are telling me it's Ghana, was the country. 600,000 or is it 60,000 barrels of crude oil exploded. That means spewing into the sea there, affecting marine life and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have coverage, insurance coverage that is borne by the operator in that region, it's the government.
Yeah.
It's the government, and as Rita was just saying, how interconnected we are. That oil spill could meet as far as Trinidad. When they start suing you,
Yeah, but then Dr. Adams also, I believe he spoke a lot of the fact that we have neighboring countries also
Precisely.
that are doing extraction of oil also. So how are we dealing with that? Even if they have an oil spill, how does it affect us? What are the paperwork involved in this process, right? But that protects Guyana, that protects us from having to bear that cost. It's a matter of cost. That's what it is, and it's going to be a cost to people. Let me tell you something. One thing was pointed out by Dr. Vincent Adams again, and this is a former head of the EPA. One other thing that was pointed out by him is if there's to be a spill, it's going to affect the persons in Barbados first. Looking at where those persons reside and all of that, and where the extraction is being done, those persons are going to be affected first. So this is not just about the cost that the government would have to pay to clean it up. What about the cost to the persons and how it affects the lives
The
of
environmental
people
cost.
that lives
And
there?
already we heard the fishermen complaining about
Yes.
a low yield in terms of the fishing, and that's current. If you add that to it, and I know lots of times we say, the safety record of the industry and the operators and so on is impeccable and all that. It cannot happen, but you just never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. So there's that cost that could be borne, and if we have to bear that cost, is less money from the oil and gas being spent on actual Guyanese and development and all of that. And we're already contending with that other hot button issue in oil and gas, that of this auditing of that 9 billion production costs that we
Yeah.
already have to bear as a country. And auditing that, I was pleased to see that I think they have shortlisted at least one international firm to do that, or one international firm bid it for the project, something of that nature. But there's been some, at least a minimal movement. There's been some movement on that issue as concerns auditing this 9 billion. If you got to add another 9 billion, for instance, God forbid we have some kind of a disaster in this sector.
It's crazy, and we have to keep speaking about it. We have to keep following it because I really can't see how is it not a priority when it comes to having full coverage liability insurance. How is that not a priority? How is that even a dispute between, say, for instance, government and opposition? Everyone should be on the same page when it comes to that, because this is for the benefit of the country. This is to minimize costs for the country. This is not an initiative that you can just push and draw a line down the middle and said, well, you have this view, you have this. We all should have the same view, that there
Correct is
should be
right.
the
Correct is right.
full liability coverage altogether moving forward. I don't know if you know, but the only spill or anything like that I have recollection of is when there was the Umai spill with cyanide.
Yeah.
And persons,
Yeah.
anybody that knew how that happened, yes, there was a lot of things done. Omai actually had to go out and in collaboration with government, and they went into the indigenous communities and gave water tanks and all of that, because the indigenous people could not use
But the
the
compensation
river
really
water
was,
that they
in
were.
hindsight, that compensation was really minimal.
It was ridiculous.
Right?
It
In
was
hindsight.
ridiculous to the
Right?
actual cost.
My geography is a little off, so
Yes.
I don't even want to attempt to name the river that was affected it. I was thinking that, but I didn't want to be off. At least I was like the last time thinking Purika, the That being said, again, the cost,
Yes.
and the what that had to be borne by Oman was really minimal.
Persons were sick, persons got ill, that is what we need to think about. People actually got sick because they could not, persons that didn't had another water source was forced to use the water for a little while until they got, and then they had to use the rainwater, and so it's a whole mess. So basically, we say that to say that is minimum compared to what we're talking about. What we're
Billions of
asking
dollars
for
could
when
be
it comes
expended
to
if you have that
the
kind of
full
disaster.
coverage insurance
Yeah.
in case there is an oil spill. And
Yep.
persons are saying not in case, but when, and the magnitude, to what magnitude.
Yeah, and you know, I think what one underscore here is that if we talk about one Guyana, about building consensus, about constructive criticism, and all those things, then the government should be rethinking its position and should be pursuing.
Yes.
And lots of persons, for instance, Article 13 group just last week said that the last energy conference and expo that we had just last week, believe it or not, seems like ages ago, was a missed opportunity, because here you have ExxonMobil was here, the head of ExxonMobil, lots of persons and influencers in the industry, and you could have been discussing these very substantive issues:
My God.
full coverage insurance, ring fencing, all of the whole gamut of issues that we are contending with locally, the establishing of the Petroleum Commission and all of that. But it seems to have been just a photo op in some instances. But the government still has time to really and truly revisit these issues.
Well, we're hoping that the government revisits these issues, because, like I keep pushing the point forward. Should not be contentious issues when it comes to the benefit of all Guyanese, and when it comes to minimizing costs for the country altogether. These should not be contentious issues. These are things that we should go ahead, and we should all have a unified position on. And I keep saying, I am yet to be shown one single reason why the government will not have the position that yes, we should demand full coverage liability insurance.
Correct. Just like our unified position on Ukraine, and this is government opposition as a country, we have a unified position on Ukraine. On these very issues, you should have a unified position. There's going to come a time when we are not here, and our children and their children and their children
Left to bear
are
costs.
inheritors of this country.
Or the benefits.
And what are we leaving them? It's interesting to as we talk about unified position. It was interesting to see a media house, if you want to call it that, last week. I think this is Guyana Daily News put out a statement that Russia was in the right I found that a little strange. A media house taking a position
I
on the
missed
issue.
that.
That is number one.
I missed that.
I saw some of that circulating. That they
Probably
felt
it was Photoshop.
that Ukraine was. I hope it was Photoshop. I really hope
For the
it was
sake of that
Photoshop. But
media
I saw
house.
that they were saying that Ukraine in this instance had provoked Russia to this extent. What was also Photoshop, if you want to about Photoshop, the army came out, I think, yesterday to
yes.
say that what was circulating about some agitation by an occupation by Venezuela was not so.
Yeah. Well,
So that was Photoshop.
that was a speedy response from the GDF, and commendable to have such speedy response. You don't want to send Guyanese into no state of panic with all that is happening.
It's a concern.
In
It
Ukraine.
is a concern
Yes.
because, you know, those of you who've been following keenly know that Venezuela has endorsed what Russia is doing.
Correct.
In Ukraine,
The Venezuelan
and
president.
and Russia has influence in Venezuela, and they've been that tool of thought out there that, you know, Putin could try something because we suddenly are that much richer because the oil prices have gone up on the international market. But, you know, the guys are going to manage that, and we can do what we got to do. If I got a whole kid, that's it.
Well, in a country of less than 1 million people, I know that wouldn't have any impact.
That's right.
If they share out AKs to everyone. So we're going to hope that we can have we need to talk our way through
Diplomatic solution.
any disputes
Diplomatic solution.
with diplomatic
solution.
methods. Yes.
FYI.
We don't have
FYI.
any other methods to be
FYI.
used.
Good to see Lynette Fraser with us, guys. Thanks to all of you who joined us this morning. Good to see Gwyneth Jones. Truly, you close to the mountain I am. Straining the whole eyes. Good to see all of you.
We see Dave here this morning.
And
Good morning to you,
Warnella.
Dave.
And Warnella Garnett. Yep, Warnella, good to see you. Good to see you.
We see Odessa Ward here this morning with us. Good morning to you, Odessa.
Yeah, and Gwyneth Jones. Gwyneth, how are you doing? So good to see you, Gwyneth. Trust you guys have had a fantastic weekend. Trust your morning is off to a great start, guys. And you're going to have a productive, big, beautiful week. Maureen Chester Paul. We see you, Maureen. We see you.
I think the name is Chichester.
Chester Paul, sorry. I
Chichester.
think the distance of the monitor, the old lights.
Maureen
Chester Paul.
Good morning, Maureen.
Donna McDonough, I think Jody call
Yes.
Donna's name, but shout out to Donna still.
Sharon Eastman. Good morning to you, Sharon.
Sharon Eastman. Extra. Sharon Eastman. Good to see you, Sharon.
So, guys, we're about to start wrapping up, I want to encourage you to share the live stream.
Yes.
Smash the emoji. Share, could you just give the same?
Agreed. Share, share, and smash
Oh my God.
the emoji button. Good to have seen you guys this morning.
Can't bring you the news
Yep.
without putting a smile on
I
your
see
face.
Vanessa Lewis is here as well. Guys, if you don't comment, we won't see the names. So we advise you to drop a comment, say morning or something. So we give you guys a shout out. We love shouting out our viewers. It's one of the feature of our programs, and we love doing it. So put a comment there so we can give you guys a big up. We say big up.
And there's Shandal Moses. I didn't know if you called that one before.
I didn't call Shandell.
Juliet Benjamin. I see Juliet here. Juliet saying better start. Well, I missed that comment. Sorry, Juliet.
Who else we got?
How Sher does come up with these things? Naomi Drucker. Naomi, I want to know the same thing.
Naomi last week.
There
The
I
guys
was,
behind.
live on set, and Sher decided.
We there.
So-
And then the guys behind telling us to encourage our viewers to share the program, and they were doing like this. Tell them share. Share. So that's how it just emerged. Share, and then if that's share, that's the breaststroke, right? Then the other swim, I don't know what it's called that, has to be that. So we smash.
What's freestyle? Right?
Freestyle, smash. Bartica would know that. They're surrounded by water.
Don't worry.
They will know.
Since we're like,
I hope you're right. I hope somebody gets to know. It's only freestyle. Is this?
yes, that is freestyle.
Freestyle?
Come on.
We know it's
seriously.
smash.
There's breaststroke.
yeah.
God, come on. Yes.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for joining this morning.
Yes.
Carl
All these
is
wonderful
so nice.
folks. All these wonderful folks. Tracy Garraway. We see you, Tracy. See you, Tracy. Who else we got?
So Carl Miller said,
Mhm.
I missed a nice bouquet of flowers.
We're gonna
in
have
the
him back
background."
tomorrow. We're gonna have him back. I miss it too. I miss it
Apparently-
too. We're gonna have him back tomorrow.
And Donna Liverpool said, a blessed morning to all watching from French Guiana. Lorene Alicock, you all
French
doing a great
Guiana
job.
folks, respect and manners.
Lorene said, you all doing a great job, guys.
Oh, we're
God bless.
trying. I'm trying with Rita here.
Much appreciated.
We try.
Listen,
Rita, try with me.
I'm a little rough around the edges, but
Rita, try with
he
me.
tries. He tries.
She tried. Good to have you guys here with us. Thanks for joining this morning. FYI. FYI.
So Siobhan McDonald ahead of us with this. She said, stay safe, everyone. See below the belt at 12.
Well, and Chevron has the closer there. Chevron has the wrap up. As in Chevron's voice. See you guys at 12. Stay safe.
See you guys at 12 and
Stay
stay
safe.
safe. Guys, we encourage you, like I said, to make sure that you do your part in sharing the information.
The guy showing Rita clothes at the back, you see?
We're second.
But we're talking about it.
We're allowed to go over a few,
Rita's taking an executive decision.
I'm taking an executive decision.
Not to close. Not share as you did. And smash. Share and smash.
I'm not looking at the guys.
Share
so.
and smash. She's not even looking at them.
That's
That's it.
It's always great, and it's Monday, so I hope everyone just plan out your week. Make sure it's productive. Be safe on the road. I keep stressing it when you go out there. It's gonna be raining here in Georgetown this morning. Make sure when you go out there, if you're driving, the roads are gonna be wet. Slow down. Allow the crazy people to go their way in peace, and you don't get involved in any road.
Rage.
Wildness.
Wildness. Madness. Don't wild up on the roads.
All right, so
Don't
guys,
wild up.
just be safe out there. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, and for persons will be joining below the belt with Sharon Duncan at 12 noon, and then later this evening at 8 p.m. for In the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take some of those signals in the ring. So that's it, guys. That's it for the program this morning. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye. It's just not finished.